Hey, you guys, this is Mr. Boaitey, and we're back for another installment of our AVID Fireside Chats. And today we may have a familiar face, maybe not. It depends on your grade. But we are blessed to have Mr. Moore, Mr. Ethan Moore with us, and he is a math teacher here at Mills Middle School. So I'm gonna let him just say a little bit about himself, and then we will get into the questions. All right, Mr. Moore?
Yep. So a little bit about me. I'm from Arizona. I was born in Scottsdale. I moved around a lot my life. So I've lived in Indiana, Tennessee, and then I finally moved to Arkansas when I was 14. And I've been here ever since. So I've graduated from Conway High. I failed out of college my first attempt. So I'm not one of those people who got through it the first time. I then joined the military for 8 years and was military police and got to experience a whole nother side of the world and got to travel a lot and got to see places like Greece and Germany and France and all sorts of cool places. And so I got to learn and a lot of things along the way. And then I decided to go back to college and used all the money I made from the military to pay it so I wouldn't have any debt. So that's a little bit about myself.
That's great. That's great. What outfit were you in? Were you Army, Marine, Navy? What were you?
Navy. I was
Okay.
Navy. We wore the blueberries.
All right. Right on. Okay. So listen, this is our first question. If you could give advice to your middle school self, your 12, 13, 14-year-old self, what would it be and why?
If I could give advice to myself when I was younger, especially 12, 13, 14, is patience. Because one of the things that I struggled with growing up was I had a learning disability. And so I had auditory dyslexia. And what that is it's a coding in your brain and you mishear things. And one of the things that I grew up with was a teacher that didn't understand dyslexia at the time. It wasn't very well researched while I was growing up, and it was actually a new field of study whenever I was growing up. It's not as much as it is now, where they have a lot of support for it. But one of the awesome things is my mom was a huge advocate for me, and she got me the therapy I needed to work on my speech and overcome those obstacles, and it helped my thinking process in it. And she also got me out of those classes and into another teacher's class that was more willing to work with me. And that sometimes you don't know what you're going to get when you go into a classroom, and you hope that you get the teacher that cares and is going to continue to work and fight for you. And I hope that I can be that for my students as well as for any of you here in this fire chat. So if you need somebody to talk to, my door is always open. And so I am always here if you need somebody to talk to.
Thank you. Thank you. So I know you said at the top, you shared a little bit, but I'm going to still say the question. Did you go to college? If so, why did you go? Where did you go? And describe the experience and how it impacted your life, who you are and what you are doing today.
Okay, so to answer the college, yes, but so how this one worked out was I started at UCA and I failed out with a 1.69 GPA. I had hit a rut in my life because I was dealing with my parents' divorce at the time. I was going through a bad breakup. It was just a lot of bad things were happening all at the same time, which is why I joined the Navy. It was to get a sense of purpose and so I could help hone my focus, because one of the things is I could not focus in class with everything that was happening around me, and I felt like I needed to get away at the time. And it worked. It helped me, and that's what worked for me. May not work for everybody, but you have to try things, and that's the main thing. You have to be open to try new things, different things, and you never know, it might lead you to awesome opportunities that you never could have imagined opening doors for you later on in life. And so when I came back, or as I was finishing up my A school and I had come back and was doing the reserve program, one of my great friends, a teacher as well, he had talked me into going back to college, and I was a little apprehensive at first, but he said, you didn't have the mindset at the time, but I think you really got it now. And he really encouraged me to go back. And so I went to UACCM, a community college, and which is really great. I actually was making money while I was going to UACCM off of the Pell Grants that you can get, it's a great program that when you have a certain income, the government will help assist you in paying for your college, which I didn't know that when I first went. And so I had a bunch of student loans, which thankfully I was able to get paid off right away. And so the second time I went through college, with the help of Pell Grants and the money that I made in the military, I was able to pay my way through. So I finished up at UACCM, and then I went back to UCA, and my grade point averages combined, I had basically a 4.0 at the community college, and the 1.69 came up to like a 3 point. And so from there, I continued to work my butt off to get it up even more. I think I ended with like a 3.3 or 3.4. Unfortunately, that 1.69 really hurt all the way through. So that was my college experience.
You know what? Can you share a little bit about what it was like? Were you on campus, or were you off campus?
So I lived at home. I didn't live on campus. I never had to live on campus, and I honestly am kind of thankful for that. That saved me a lot of money. My family really helped me out during that time, and that's something I was really blessed in and for, because honestly, that would have acquired unfortunately, I think that it's really expensive to live on campus, and if you can and if you can swing it, go for it. But if you have friends or families that are willing to help you out, give you a place to stay, that'll save you so much money. I mean, during my college talk, I showed my kids the amount of money it cost a year, and it's somewhere upward of $8,000 a year. So you're spending $4,000 a semester to stay on campus. So I've always been an advocate of save whatever money you can save, because there's no reason to rack up a debt if you can help yourself.
You know, and hearing you, you know, it's certainly you were able to just move forward, and it sounds all positive in terms of you going back and it all working out. It's you know, it would seem that, you know, during that time frame, it may have been a little challenging, you know, all of a sudden to really fail out and then go to the military and then come back and then
find all that success.
Right.
So I knew what it was to be on the bad end of a stick, to keep hitting those lows. But then once I found my focus, once I had found what I needed from the military, I was able to turn that around for the better. And so sometimes it takes a little bit of a walk off the beaten trail to find what it is that you need to help you further yourself in your own goals. And so if you would have asked me, would have I joined the military 8-10 years ago, I would have laughed at you, because I never thought I was the biggest hippie growing up. I had long hair, like a mop on my head. I was very silly and no cares in the world at the time when I was growing up, other than, you know, drama that you grow up with. And I mean, we all have it. We all have drama in our lives. It's just sometimes some hide it better than others. And so you just have to put your best foot forward and look for what works for you.
That's great. What does success mean to you? Would you call yourself successful? Why or why not?
So success to me, I think, is kind of making goals for yourself and trying to meet those goals, no matter how small, how big. I find success is getting out of the bed in the morning and getting to work on time I'll take any small goal I can and be happy about it, because at the end of the day, if I set big goals and if I don't always hit them, I know that's going to make me upset. But if I make small goals that I know I can accomplish every day, I know I'm going to feel better about myself than beat myself up over all the things that I can't accomplish in one day. There's a lot. Even for you scholars, you have a lot on your plate. You have all these subjects, you have all this work you got to get done. And I understand it's not all easy. It doesn't all make sense. Maybe the teacher's way of explaining it didn't make sense to you that day. Maybe another student explains it to you and then it made sense. It's just, you never know when it's going to click for you. We're all growing at different rates. And that's something you have to realize for yourself, is nobody is just a perfect bloomer right out the gate. Everybody, even the most successful actors, didn't make it until their 30s or 40s. So it's just like, don't compare yourself to other people. Take yourself day by day. Set yourself small goals so that you know that you can reach, that you know you can just pat yourself on the back for, so that at the end of it, you can feel good about yourself. And that's what you need. You need to make yourself feel like a champion. You already have enough things that can drag you down, and you can dwell on them and it won't make you happy. But what you can do is you can set those things aside and just focus on the things that you know you've accomplished, you know you did, and you did them great, and just say, hey, I did it. And then whether or not I find myself successful, I'm the worst critic of myself. I feel I am successful in some ways, mostly family. Family is definitely the most successful thing I've had in my life. I feel like I won the freaking lottery when it comes to my family. I couldn't ask for a better group of people to support me and help me when I was at my lowest times, and to still be there for me as I'm getting better. And so I definitely feel like I'm a successful person, but I know I can be more successful because I'm working my butt off to get there. And so one of those things is I still live with my parents at the moment, because I couldn't afford at the time to buy a house. And right now they are housing me until I can save up enough money to afford a house. And that's one of my goals right now, is I'm saving up until I can get a house. And I know it's something I can do, and I'm really working towards it. And I'm watching my money. I'm not spending as much. I'm making sure that I am just saving up as much money as possible, so that hopefully by summer I'll be in my own house then. Mm-hmm. And that's one of my goals. And so I'm definitely going for it.
You know, I appreciate what you're sharing, and it's so much the thrust of the AVID program. You know, AVID, the acronym is Advancement via Individual Determination. And exactly what you're sharing is that kind of thing that you get to inside and say, oh no, I'm doing this, or I can do this. You know, I've set my intention and I'm doing it, you know, and so much of what you're sharing speaks to that. And it's great. It's great. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Being college and career ready takes grit, persistence, perseverance, not giving up, and being open to new ideas. How did you develop or cultivate this essential skill?
So definitely being college ready and career. So I would say the military helped me cultivate these essential skills in multiple ways. For one, I got to teach classes, whether it be building exit procedures. Some of them were building clearing procedures. There were a lot of things that we had to teach classes on ourselves once we had been taught ourselves enough, so that whenever we had new recruits come in, we had to teach them. And so one of the things I got to do is be in front of a lot of guys that are close to my age, even older, some younger. And I got the chance to teach classes before I even got into my internships. And so when it came time, the funny thing is that one of the biggest things as a teacher is the public speaking and feeling comfortable of speaking and not being shy. And so growing up, I definitely kind of teetered back and forth between the very shy to very open kind of person. And it just kind of depended about the people I was around. And that's most people anyway. You're shy around people you don't really know at first, but then once they get to know you, you kind of open up more. And so what ended up happening is the Navy really took away, and I say take away in this in a good sense, they took away my shyness altogether. And so I was no longer a very shy person. I very much gained the ability to publicly speak and joke and try to make lighthearted things, but at the same time still be serious enough that this is what we're still trying to get across. And so I really got my work ethic while I was in the Navy, and it continued to persevere into the other works that I did. Because I mean, I've worked a lot of different jobs. I mean, since I 17, I think I started at Little Caesars, then I worked at Dixie Cafe. I worked at a country club for a little bit. I've worked at Lowe's. A tree cutting service. That one was fun. That one was hard. I'm not going to lie. That one took all of the work ethic out of me, in fact, because I had one day where I came home with 7 ticks crawled up my leg.
Wow.
Because we were cutting a thicket that was 45-degree angle, or almost more than 45-degree angle incline. And oh my gosh, it was a humid day. I was dying. It was something else, but we pushed our hardest and we got it done. And it was just one of those things where you're just like, I did it.
Yeah.
I did it.
That's awesome. And so this is our last question. Is there anything else you'd like to say to scholars who'll be watching this?
So the main thing that I can say to you guys is the same thing I've kind of been saying throughout this entire thing, is just focus on the positive. Find yourself something, a goal, anything, and it doesn't have to be big. Make something small sometimes and make sure that you get to that. Make it reasonable. It can be as easy as getting out of bed, because, you know, there are plenty of people who suffer from depression. And that can be the hardest battle some days, is just getting up out of bed and just trying to come to school with a smile. And I know with these masks, it's hard. We can't see the smiles. It's all in the eyes. And so when you're sad, it can be hard for us to see sometimes, but we want you to have a good time here. We want you to enjoy your time here. We want you to learn as much as you can. Keep your minds open and sharpen them to new ideas and new thoughts and processes. I know it's a lot, but you guys got this. You can do it. We all have faith in you. You have a bunch of teachers who believe in you, and I think we'll all get there together by the end of the year. I know we can. It's one of my goals. I know we're going to get there, and we're going to do it together. We'll get to that finish line one way or another. We'll get there.
Right on. Well, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure. You shared some wonderful insights. And you guys, I hope you got some great nuggets. I mean, I don't hope, I know you did. I know you did. And so it's really neat. And to get a sense of who are some of the adults in the house, you know? This is one of our own. And so it's nice, you know, to have Mr. Moore over there, and he's in the math department. So I want to thank you so much for taking the time out to be with us.
Oh, it's no problem. Anytime.
Thank you very much, sir.
No problem.
And you guys, we will see you again. So thank you.